Myself Jayashree Inchal welcomes you for the lecture series on storage area networks with module number 4, lecture number 31. In the previous class, we have discussed about the cloud computing infrastructure. This will be the collection of both hardware and software, and which is going to provide the essential characteristics of cloud computing, and which consists of mainly 4 layers, that is physical infrastructure, virtual infrastructure, applications and platform software, and cloud management and cloud creation of the tools. So today we are going to discuss about cloud challenges and cloud adoption considerations. So although it is a growing acceptance of depending upon the growing acceptance of a cloud computing, both the cloud service consumers and providers have been facing some challenges, and those challenges we are going to discuss here in the challenges for consumers and challenges for providers. Although there is a growing acceptance of cloud computing, both the cloud service consumers and providers have been facing some challenges. First, let us discuss challenges for consumers. Business critical data requires the protection and continuous monitoring of its access. If the data moves to a cloud model other than on-premise private cloud, consumers could lose absolute control of their sensitive data. Although most of the cloud service providers offer enhanced data security, consumers might not be willing to transfer control of their business critical data to the cloud. The cloud service provider might use a multiple data centers and located in different countries to provide the cloud services. They might replicate or move data across these data centers and ensure high availability and load distributions. The consumers may or may not know which country their data is stored. Some cloud service providers allow the consumers to select the location for storing the data. The data privacy concerns and regulatory compliance requirements, mainly with such as EU Data Protection Directive and the US Safe Harbor Program, these are going to create some challenges for consumers in adopting cloud computing. These cloud services can be accessed from anywhere via the network. However, network latency increases with the cloud infrastructure. This is not close to the access point, and high network latency can either increase the application response time or cause the application to timeout. This can be addressed by implementing some service level agreements with the cloud service providers. Another challenge is that cloud platform services may not support the consumer's desired applications. For example, a service provider might not be able to support highly specialized or proprietary environments such as compatible to OS or any of the prepared programming languages. So these are required to have develop and run the consumer application. Also, mismatch between hypervisors could impact the migration of virtual machines into or between the clouds. Another challenge is vendor lock-in. The difficulty for consumers to change their cloud service provider, a lack of interoperability between the APIs of different cloud service provider, and lack of interoperability between the APIs of different cloud service providers could also create a complexity and high migration costs with moving from one service provider to another. So these are the challenges faced by the consumers. Now let us move to challenges for the providers. Cloud service providers usually publish a service level agreement so that their consumers know about the availability of service, quality of service, downtime compensation, and legal and regulatory clauses. Alternatively, customer specific SLAs may be signed between a cloud service provider and a consumer. So this SLA is typically mention a penalty amount if the cloud service providers fail to provide the service levels. Therefore, the cloud service providers must ensure that they have adequate resources to provide the required levels of services. Because the cloud resources are distributed and service demands fluctuate. And it is a challenge for cloud service providers to provision physical resources for peak demand of all the consumers and estimate the actual cost of the providing services. And many of the software vendors do not have a cloud a ready software licensing model. Some of the software vendors offer some standardized cloud licenses at a higher price compared to some traditional licensing models. And these cloud software licensing complexity has been causing some challenges in deploying vendor software in the cloud. So this is also a challenge for consumer. Cloud service providers also offer some proprietary API to the access to their cloud. However, the consumer might want open API or standard. And these APIs, standard APIs, to become the tenant of multiple clouds. And this is a challenge of cloud service provider because this requires an agreement among cloud service providers. So now let us discuss the cloud adoption considerations. Organizations that they are going to decide to adopt the cloud computing always face the question, how does the cloud fit the organization environment? The most of the organizations are not ready to abandon their existing IT investments to move all their business processes to the cloud at once. Instead, they need to consider various factors before moving their business processes to the cloud. Even individuals seeking to use the cloud services need to understand some cloud adoption considerations. The following are some key considerations of cloud adoption. First one is selection of a deployment model. Risk versus convenience is a key consideration for deciding in a cloud adoption strategy. This consideration also forms the basis for choosing the right cloud deployment model. A public cloud is usually preferred by the individuals or a startup business. For them, the cost reduction offered by the public cloud outweighs the security or availability risk on the cloud. Say for some small and medium-sized business have a moderate customer base, and any anomaly in the customer data, some service level might impact their business. Therefore, they may will not be willing to deploy their tier 1 applications such as online transaction processing in the public cloud. So the hybrid cloud model fits in this case. The tier 1 applications should run on the public cloud, whereas less critical applications such as backup, archive and testing can be deployed in the public cloud. Enterprises typically have a stronger consumer base worldwide, and they usually enforce strict security policies to safeguard the critical customer data. And because they are financially capable, they might prefer building their own private clouds. Second one is application suitability. Not all the applications are good candidates for a public cloud. They may be this may be due to the incompatibility between the cloud platform software and the consumer applications, or it may be the organization plans. These plans are going to move a legacy application to the cloud. So the proprietary and the mission critical applications are core and essential to the business and are usually designed and developed and maintained in-house. These applications often provide some competitive advantages due to high security risk. Organizations are unlikely to move these applications to the public cloud. These applications are good candidates for an on-premise private cloud, and non-proprietary and non-mission critical applications are suitable for deployment in the public cloud. If an application workload is network traffic intensive, its performance might not be optimal if deployed in the public cloud. Also, if the application communicates with each other with other data center resources or application, it might experience some performance issues. Third one is about financial advantages. A careful analysis of the financial benefits provides a clear picture about the some cost saving in adopting the cloud, and the analysis should compare both the total cost ownership and return on investment in the cloud and non-cloud environment and identify the potential cost benefit. While calculating TCO and ROI, organization and individuals should consider the expenditure to deploy and maintain their own infrastructure versus cloud adoption costs. While calculating the expenditure for owning infrastructure resources, organization should include both the capital expenditure and operation expenditure in such as cost of servers, storage, OS, application requirement, network equipment, real estate and so on. And this expenditure includes the cost incurred for power and cooling, personal maintenance, backup and so on. These expenditures should be compared with the operation cost incurred in adopting cloud computing. The cloud adoption cost includes the cost of migrating to the cloud and cost to ensure compliance and security, and usage or subscription fees. Moving application to the cloud resources reduces when the cloud is built on premise. The next one is about next key consideration is related with the selection of cloud service provider. The selection of cloud service provider is important for a public cloud. Consumers need to find out how long and how well the provider has been delivering the services. They also need to determine how easy to add and terminate cloud services with the service provider. The consumer should know how easy to move to the another provider when required. And even they must access how the provider fulfills the security, legal and privacy requirements. They should also check whether the provider offers good customer service support. The fifth one is service level agreement, SLA. Cloud service providers typically mention some quality of service attributes such as throughput and uptime along with the cloud services. The quality of service attributes are generally part of SLA, service level agreement, which is a service contract between the provider and the consumer, and this SLA serves as the foundation for the expected level of service between the consumer and the provider. Before adopting the cloud services, consumer should check whether the QoS attributes, quality of service attributes, meet their requirements or no. So the best example about the cloud computing is having the integrated cloud infrastructure is vBlock, which is a completely integrated cloud infrastructure offering including of compute and storage, network and virtualization products. These products are provided by the EMC, VMware and Cisco, who have been formed with a coalition with the delivering of vBlocks. So these vBlocks are pre-architectured, pre-configured and have the defined performance and availability attributes. So this cloud computing, although evolving and is gaining popularity because the consumers see the potential cost reduction and service providers see the opportunity to provide the new services. So cloud computing has enabled IT organizations and individuals to gain benefits such as automated and rapid resource provisioning, flexibility, high availability and faster time to market at a reduced total cost of ownership. Although there are concerns and challenges, the benefits of cloud computing, and these are going to affect the organization and own traditional data centers. So there will be some cloud adoption like a journey which begins with the consolidation of computing resources including compute systems, storage networks using virtualization technologies. Followed by virtualization of resources, organizations need to take the next step for implementing unified cloud infrastructure management tools and come with some service catalog. So these are all the things we have discussed and covered in this cloud computing chapter. So today we have discussed about some cloud challenges and adoption considerations. So these are the important questions for your examination point of view. Explain cloud challenges and explain considerations in adopting cloud computing. For this today's class material, you refer the textbook, chapter 13, subsections from 13.7 to 13.8. These are the page numbers. And here it is going to end with the fourth module. Suppose if you feel any difficulty in understanding these concepts, please feel free to contact me.